Welcome back to the Blue Collar Minutemen Show. We are three guys who are destined. Well, I should say we're three guys who want to make this country great again and want to keep it that way. We're glad you're joining us again today. We're back on the podcast. Got Bill, Justin, and myself with you. Bill, how you doing?
Doing good. How you doing? Doing all right, Justin?
Doing good. How about you guys?
Doing pretty good. Man, I'll tell you, we're glad to have some things going on here at the podcast. If y'all been keeping up with us, we've got our website now. The website is, we're going to try to put more things on it, good things to come. We posted that on our Facebook page. We hope you follow us on there. And I believe Bill has something that he wants to drop on you all today, something new from the podcast. Dun, 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 dun. The Blue Collar Minutemen bobbleheads. As you can see, you got myself in the middle, Justin and Bill. Justin holding the tomahawk.
Right.
Bill with his coffee cup and cigar, and me holding the American flag. Those caricatures right there are, hopefully we're going to be putting them on T-shirts, and we'll put those T-shirts up on the website if anybody wants to purchase one. But we'll also put them up, the picture up on Facebook and on the website. You all comment on it. Tell us what you think. We'd like to hear your feedback, and just let us know. But on the business. So
and yes, just wearing a blue Kentucky hat. Just want to throw it out there.
Y'all not going to leave that one alone, are you?
No.
Yes. I was wearing a Kentucky hat, but that does not mean I'm for UK. I love my state.
We know you're a Louisville fan. You're a Louisville fan. We get it.
Yeah, I know, but that's kind of waning at this
L's
point.
down.
It's kind of waning at this point, but we'll discuss that later. but anyway, a lot of stuff been going on in the country. Man, I've got to say, news in general, how can you trust it? Everything you hear, Trump calls it fake news. You know, I think nowadays more people are doing their own research into just about everything that comes out, because they're not telling us everything. They're just not. This media, I have no words for it. I mean, what were you thinking on that, Bill?
Well, I mean, you got to look at it like, okay, when a president gets up and speaks, even before he's through saying what he's got to say, there's 1,000 questions coming from the media. And they're usually stupid questions. Yeah. Why are you happy that you've been lying to the American people for 2 years? I mean, you know, hard stuff like that. Then we get Joe and Kamala, or whatever their center name is now. You heard they went all over Tucker for mispronouncing her name the other night. But anyway, they didn't ask them a question. They've been out twice now together, and the media has not asked one question of those two. Not one question. It's like they had a free pass.
Well, can you blame them? I mean, they're trying to get this guy, the media's trying to get this guy in the presidency. Why would you want to ask them any questions? I mean, you saw what Tulsi Gabbard did to Kamala Harris. You saw, and Biden just has to keep running his mouth. That's all he's got to do.
Yeah.
And he's just helping us out in the long run, like you said last week.
Well, there's so much. It's like a quote from one of my favorite movies, The Green Berets. He's standing up there on the podium, and they're asking questions, and he's telling them all about the war in Vietnam. And the lady raises her hand. She goes, "Why haven't we heard any of this in the news?" And he looks at her and he says, "That's the problem with newspapers. You can fill volumes with what they don't print."
Yeah.
So they've got their own agenda. They know what they want you to know, and that's what they print. That's what they talk about on TV. For an example, Elgin, I know you have some feelings on this. You had a rant on it Tell us about, the other little bias thing we got going on here with media.
Oh man. First of all, I think everyone knows, and I'll say his name, Cannon Hennett, 5-year-old who was shot execution style and murdered in broad daylight. And did the mainstream media say anything?
They still haven't.
They still haven't.
Still aren't covering that story.
It still hasn't. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, that should be news. As tragic as it is, I'm not saying it should be news for them to make money off of, but it should be news that it was a tragedy, and we all should be wanting justice to be done. That's it. But because Trump's in the presidency and everything is all about attacking him, the mainstream media doesn't care. I've looked for it. I haven't found anything. Everything I have to search, I'll have to search down almost to the bottom of the second page to find anything out relevant.
In no way, shape, or form, no matter what has happened throughout human history, no matter what person committed what atrocity, it is not all right to kill someone else just because of that, your viewpoint. The only time you ever should raise your hand or raise your hands up in anger or point a weapon is when you or your family are in danger. That little boy had nothing to do with any of this. He didn't even know what's going on about Black Lives Matter, the presidency, nothing. Man, that little boy just wanted to go outside and play. And and they're trying to make him some sort of this is for 400 years of oppression. Well, that's horseshit.
That's bullshit.
No.
Yeah.
No. There is no reason for me to blame anybody that's white, Caucasian, whatever, for anything that they have done against Native American people, my people. Why am I going to hold this generation of people accountable for something that happened centuries ago? Yes, do we need to acknowledge what happened? Yes, because we don't want history to repeat itself. But man, why would I punish somebody that wasn't even alive back then? That's not their fault. I'm sure my people committed some sort of atrocities against other groups, other tribes. I mean, it's not like all tribes got along. We all know that. I mean, even in Europe, Irish are still fighting the British or fighting the English. Wars all over the place. What are we going to do? Go back and kill everyone because of what happened 400 years ago? No, that is stupid. And to take it out on a child. I joined the military so I would go out and I found bad guys that I thought they were enemies of this country, threatening our way of life. I will go after those men. I will fight another man, but a child. That was wrong. That was horribly wrong, and somebody should be standing up and say something about that.
And well, the thing that gets me, we had how many days of coverage of George Floyd?
George Floyd is what spawned all this nightmare going on in these cities.
We had movie stars and athletes paying for a funeral, a gold casket. Why?
Exactly.
Why?
I mean,
and now we're not mentioning this because it doesn't fit their narrative.
Right.
And that's what we're discussing. Is this media biased? Come on, people. We're not that dumb. We are not. I believe wholeheartedly that there are Democrats out there who are looking at this and going, you know what? This is BS. All of it's BS.
Yeah.
We've got
and you got these other people, this lack of a better term, white guilt thing going on where they're all just blind and supporting the I get why you're doing it. You feel sorry for what happened back then. Let's move on. Fuck this, man. Killing a child.
I know.
And trying not to say anything about it. I'm a martial arts coach for kids. Anybody touches any of my students, man, in any manner, without not being friendship or positive, they're going to have to deal with me. I promise you that. And that's just garbage, man. A little 5-year-old boy never had a chance at life.
I'm still just shocked. I mean, I'm still looking here trying to find coverage. Of course, it's all over Facebook, but that's all it was.
I mean, with George Floyd, when he was killed, you know, I didn't agree with the way he was killed. All right? But that man was no damn saint either. Robbing a woman and then holding her at knife point, a pregnant woman, and then we're trying to turn him into some sort of freaking saint? Are you kidding me? But I disagree with the way the cop handled things, I guess. I mean, I wasn't there. I couldn't see everything, but apparently that new footage leaked out, so tells more of the narrative, more of the story.
We'll discuss that in a minute.
But a 5-year-old boy, man, nobody's saying a word about it. I don't know why there's not more people. I'm pretty sure that this is going to be like a wake-up call for the silent majority that we keep talking about, the ones that just want to go to work, want to progress, want to do things with our families. That's going to start pissing us off. And actually, it is pissed us off. I'm mad as hell about that. A little boy being killed just for this. It's crazy.
Right. Well, I believe we're going to take a little bit of a break. But in the meantime, I believe we're going to give a few little shout outs and acknowledgments to a few local businesses.
Stay tuned. We'll be back in a moment. Go.
Hey, everybody. What's going on, America? This is Justin Yaza coming to you with Blue Collar Minutemen. Just want to let you guys know we've got a couple of businesses to shout out. Like Somerset Martial Arts here in Somerset, Kentucky. We've got everything from adult Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, to kids classes in those same martial arts styles. And we also have an MMA team. So if you guys are ever interested in that, and right now what we are doing is we're pushing a virtual learning camp. So if you guys here in Kentucky, in this area, in Pulaski County, need some place that your kids need to go during the day to make sure that they get their homework done, but have a good time and have fun and being supervised by qualified adults and trainers, hey, come and hit us up. You guys take it easy. Later.
One.
Hey, and we're back. Blue Collar Minutemen, still going on. To kind of continue with what we were talking about earlier, we were talking about the media bias. Let's go ahead and move on to that subject that you were talking about there, Justin, Mr. George Floyd.
Yeah, that guy. like I said, man, like him dying the way he did was jacked up. It was messed up. It was wrong. But let's not – now, did he deserve to die that way because of who he was as a person? You know what? I'm nobody's judge or jury, so I won't say nothing. But you know what? He wasn't no damn saint.
Right.
Like the way the media and Black Lives Matter want to portray him as. I mean, a man that assaulted a pregnant woman? Are you freaking kidding me? You know what? I don't care. I could care less. People like that, when they get killed in stupid circumstances, sucks for him, but shouldn't have been being a dumbass. And I'm sorry. And I tell these young guys all the time when they come into a martial arts facility where I'm a coach at, I'm like, young men, there's two things you guys need to learn in life. One, never make a 20-second decision. Let a 20-second decision dictate the next 20 years of your life. Mm-hmm. Second, if you are going to go out there and be a criminal, try to act like a hard ass, be thugged out all you want. When you start committing crimes and infringing on other people's rights, you are willingly placing your life in their hands. People aren't going to deal with that shit. And I'm sorry, you come into my house or come up, start messing with my kids. Everybody knows I just got married. We have 6 kids together now. 1 7-year-old and the rest teenagers. And that's something that I try to instill in all my kids. Now, those kids that I have in this house, they're white. Anybody messes with those kids just because they're white, just because they're going to school, just because they think that they're racist because they're white, they're going to deal with me, I promise.
Right.
But, man, these kids, I teach these guys every day, like, you go out breaking into a car, there's a good chance you're going to get shot. Breaking into a house. You live in Kentucky, man. Everybody here is armed. I mean, you got to be an idiot to try and come out here and do that mess. And guess what? Everybody is armed because we don't have no stupid gun laws trying to limit what we can and cannot defend ourselves with.
Right.
So, hey, New York, LA, hey, we ain't got y'all's problems around here.
Speaking of LA, the Court of Appeals threw out that high capacity magazine ban this week.
Oh, did they?
Oh yeah.
A win for the gun owner.
A win for the gun owner.
Good.
Have you guys seen how many people are leaving the state of California? Joe Rogan just moved out. He's like, I'm done with this state. And now he's moving to Texas.
Yes.
So
They're
like,
moving out in droves. But kind of back to George Floyd, that new footage came out. So I don't know if everybody got to see it. I'm understanding now it's even hard to find it. But I did get to see it. And it actually shed some new light on that whole situation. Of course, for those who haven't seen it, I'll try to briefly explain it a little bit. So the footage that's come out is actually the police officer's body cam footage. And it actually shows the traffic stop, shows the officer go up to George Floyd's vehicle, and the officer does have his gun drawn. He's telling him to keep his hands on the steering wheel, not to move, keep his hands where he can see him. The officer has his gun drawn. I'm guessing on the other side, there's another officer on the other side of the vehicle that's also speaking with the passengers. Well, the officer who is talking to Floyd, he holsters his weapon, opens the door, and tells Floyd to get out. Now, at this point, you see that Floyd is very agitated. Not aggressive, but he's agitated. He's what we call hyped up. He's don't kill me, don't kill me. That's all he's saying in the video. And you can hear the officer saying, I'm not going to kill you. Just give me your hands. The officer's not speaking mean. He's not being aggressive. He's not cursing Floyd. He just tells him, look, I'm not going to kill you. Give me your hands. Give me your hands. He gets Floyd out. Floyd does give him his hands, but Floyd is still in that hyped up state. Okay. So as the video continues, they get Floyd cuffed. He goes and sits down on the pavement, on the sidewalk, which we've seen that from mainstream media. So that's how he got from his vehicle to the sidewalk. Now, other part of the video is the officer continues. He's talking with the passengers. Now, the officer is not cursing the passengers. The passengers are not in handcuffs. The passengers are black. And the officer is asking them, he's like, what's up with him? What's going on? One of the passengers says, man, I don't know. There's something up in his head. I don't know what's up with him. And so no aggression there. Now I'm making this a point because all this is supposed to be racist that these cops did, but the passengers were black. They weren't in handcuffs. The officers weren't belittling them or cursing them. I would think that if you are racist, you're going to be racist to everybody there, not just one person.
Exactly.
But let me go on. So with that, the officers then get Floyd up. They're like, he's under arrest. We're going to arrest him. As a police officer myself, there are times you cannot get someone in the backseat of the cruiser. We all agree Floyd was a big guy. He was like 6'4", 250 or something like that. I'm not sure. Tall guy, big guy. They try to place him on the right rear passenger side of the police cruiser. Floyd sits on the seat, but he will not put his head in or his feet in. Once again, you can hear the officers as they tell Floyd, hey, man, get in the car. Get in the car. You got to get in the car. He goes on again, very agitated state. Don't kill me, man. Don't kill me. Screaming and all of that. Still, now listen, they didn't beat him. They didn't punch him. They didn't hit him. Okay? But what another officer does, and I have done this, he goes around to the driver's side rear door and he opens that door. And you see his body cam footage. He goes and he opens the door leaving Floyd on the right side of the vehicle with the other officers. He goes in, he reaches, and he grabs Floyd on that side to pull him into the back of the cruiser. Now, this is the point where things go bad. Because what it seems like is Mr. Floyd, as the officer grabbed him to pull him into the back of the cruiser, Floyd puts his feet up on the inside and pushes off, and he comes out onto the officer on the driver's side. So now he's on the ground, he's on the driver's side. I guess a struggle then ensues because he has landed on the officer. Other officers come around. And of course, this is where that video cuts off. And of course, that's where the media video picks it up. Judging from all of that and everything that went on in that video, do I think it was a racist? No, I don't. We do know for sure that the toxicology report reported Floyd having high levels of methamphetamine in his system.
And fentanyl.
And
fentanyl.
Yes.
He was speedballing, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's that agitated state. But at the same time, and I kind of said this earlier on, he might have died more from excited delirium than any assault on his person. Now, a lot of people may not know, again, what excited delirium is. This is something new. This is something that has been going through the law enforcement community because we deal with it, about trying to recognize the signs of excited delirium. But essentially, excited delirium is when your body, your heart, your adrenaline pumps so hard and so high that when your body starts to come down, it's almost like a crash that kills you. I mean, that's it. When you finally stop and come down, nobody that I know of has lived from excited delirium.
And then on top of the drug use?
Yeah,
That's
the
what
drug
causes
use,
it.
that's what causes it.
Yeah, okay.
And then if you remember too, of course, the Floyd family had an autopsy done, and then there was an autopsy done by the state.
Okay. The family's autopsy, the whatever you call it, the medical exam, never actually saw the body.
Right.
Right. He based his autopsy on video and notes from the other doctor. He never saw the body.
So would you guys consider a doctor a scientist, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
How the hell are you going to perform an experiment or research on something without having him there?
Money.
Yeah,
Money.
exactly.
He was a very well-known, high-paid coroner.
Yeah.
And he does this stuff for court. I mean, but he never saw the body. So how do you do anything without seeing the body?
And ladies and gentlemen, that's a fact. This guy never saw the body. And of course, the initial coroner's report said that there was no injury to Floyd's neck. So if I'm kneeling on your neck, there should be bruising or something. So
At least on your chest, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Everything that, all of this rioting is literally somebody jumping the gun has caused all of this.
Yep.
And we're paying for it. We're paying for it.
Yep.
The average person is paying for this. But, you know, I gotta say this too. This really fit into the left's whole narrative because, I mean, they jumped all over this like flies on shit.
Yep.
Yep. Yep.
So,
Yes, they did.
and once again, it's still all because of this man.
Right.
All to get him out of office. But I said it once, I'll say it again. Regardless of right or left, we've got to start doing what's right and start fighting against evil. Because let's face it, there are people who are doing things right now that do not have your best interest, my best interest, Bill, Justin. They're doing it all for this and their power. That's it.
That's it.
That's it. All right, I guess we'll take another break, and we'll have a few words from our sponsors. Go.
Hey, everybody, it's me, Elgin. Just want to give a nice ad here for Mr. Desmond Brittle. At the beginning of the podcast, you saw the bobbleheads of the Blue Collar Minutemen. We'll be trying to use those on our T-shirts. And that artistry is a courtesy of Mr. Desmond Brittle. His company name is Articus Creative Designs. It's a local company here in Pulaski County, Somerset. If you all are in the area, try to find him on Facebook. Check out some of his artworks, very good designs. And if there's something special that you want done, contact him. He's looking forward to your business, and we'll try to help you with what you want in any way. That's Articus Creative Designs, Mr. Desmond Brittle. Find him on Facebook, and you all have a blessed day.
We're on.
Hey, we're back. Blue Collar Minute. And looks like we got Shannon back with us.
Yeah,
Sorry we
I'm
lost
great.
you that last one.
that's all right. That's, I guess, part of the beauty of internet. Works when it wants to. When you want it to, it doesn't.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Shannon, she likes the podcast and she wanted to come on and just talk a little bit. And we welcome her here to the podcast. Shannon, we'll go ahead and kind of jump right into it. One of the questions I had for you was, in your opinion, what do you see as far as from what you see of Biden's interviews? Do you believe that there is something wrong with the man, either mentally or medically?
Absolutely, yes. To me, he just seems like an old man. He seems like he's got dementia, maybe Alzheimer's. I'm not a doctor, but I don't think you really need a medical degree to see that they're just all the wheels are not turning at this point with that man. Love his heart. I think he tries, but I think they need to retire him and get somebody with some real sense to go up there and represent their party. I just don't see why they went with somebody that's been in office for 40 years and has accomplished as little as he has and is as old as he is and has as much trouble communicating as what he does.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
I mean, the comments he makes, telling people like me, if I don't vote for him, I'm not black. I mean,
yeah, that one was, that was one of the extraordinary ones. I couldn't believe, it came out of his mouth. I mean, I guess I'm sure we all say things, stumble in our words and everything when we're nervous, but comparing kids to cockroaches, climbing up the hairs on his legs was another one that I've noted. I just watched one the other day. Actually, that was today I watched that. Actually, I just shared that today where he's saying he's going to beat Joe Biden in the Democratic debates or in the presidential debates. So he's like unaware that he's even running against somebody else at this point. I think in his own head, he's running against himself at times.
Right. Well,
you feel sorry for him. It genuinely makes you feel sorry for him. And they just keep parading him around like they have absolutely zero sympathy or empathy for this man. Like, we're going to ride you till you're dead, basically. It's bad.
I'm really beginning to think at this point it's just a weekend at Bernie's situation. It's just.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Somebody speaking for him. Some idiot speaking for him.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's what they want. They want somebody up there that they're going to be able to pull their strings and have control over them. I mean, that's clear. If you can't see that at this point, then you're blinded by something. And it's probably called Trump derangement syndrome.
Well, another question I have for you, Shannon, it just deals a little bit with the system of law here in the United States. So, what we have here has been constantly revised, our system of law. It's been worked on. People have, added their own tidbits to different laws and things. trying to make it safe for the average person, and then also trying to punish the criminals.
Right.
But recently, everyone is saying that the system isn't working. But do you think changing the system is the correct answer, or does the answer lie somewhere else?
Well, part of the system I do think is flawed. The part where you guys go risk your lives to arrest somebody that has broken the law in a lot of times extreme ways, and then they let them right back out on the street.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of what, definitely needs to be adjusted. And I'm not sure that's not why Trump has gotten rid of so many judges. I know I've heard people comment about there's been so many people fired since he's been in office, but I'm sure there's reasons for that. And it's probably because those people's jobs were not getting done the way they should have been.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
So, I mean, I don't think it has anything to do with the people carrying out the laws. I think some of the laws could be rewritten, of course, in some aspects, but most of the time that's like to do with civil cases and things like that. I mean, of course, when you guys are pulling people over and they're resisting or they're, fidgeting in their seats, things like that. I think you guys are getting a bad rap at times. And I think it's more people coming from personal experiences that they are misconstruing in their own minds, if that makes sense. I guess I put myself in your guys' shoes as well as theirs. And if it were me in your guys' uniform, stepping out of your guys' cars, walking up to these people's vehicles at times, I can't say I would react any differently than what a lot of officers have reacted. And I think of a lot of the people that are complaining over it were asked the same question, they would probably respond the same way if they were actually, put on the spot and made to look at it like that. But it's so easy to just throw your opinion out there these days and not really think about what you're saying, just to side with somebody and try to be agreeable and to try to avoid confrontations and everything. That I don't think people are really thinking a lot of times before they talk,
Right. Okay. Justin, do you have a question or two?
Yes, I sure do. Kind of change the subject on you a little bit. How are you, Shannon?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, pretty good.
Congratulations on your marriage.
Thank you. Man, my voice has been gone for the last 2 weeks. I teach kids, and you can imagine how that goes. I got like 20 kids in my classes.
Yeah, that's okay. You're coming through clear for me. So.
Well, first question.
Okay.
All right. Well, how effective do you think it is wearing these masks everywhere?
I don't think it's effective at all. I wear my mask, and I don't complain, I guess, but in all honesty, I don't think it's effective at all. The numbers are still rising. I think they've proven that. Of course, it may be because there's more testing being done now that it's available, but either way, people are still coming down with it, masks or not. They've made all their mandates. They've, made all their laws. They're giving people tickets over it. People are being sprayed with pepper spray in the face and being attacked over it. And yet people are still coming down with coronavirus and they're still dying from it. And then there are still people coming down with it that don't even know they have it and passing it. And there's still people that are completely recovering from it. And I don't think that's effective. I really don't. I think people are going to get sick, just like with the flu and the colds that go around every day, regardless of whether they wear a mask or not. And I think they've pretty well told us that they're, they're not really going to help.
Right. I completely agree with you there.
Yeah.
And I'm one of those guys that I'm not wearing it. I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm just not.
Yeah.
If I do feel like I'm going to spread something to someone, of course I'll wear a mask, but I've been tested numerous times working with children, and I know I don't have anything to spread around. And there is nothing saying that mask is going to keep you from getting anything.
Exactly.
The mask only stops you from the doctor, the surgeon. It keeps him from spitting or blowing air or bacteria into an open surgical area.
Right, exactly. But there again, you know, I think it's common sense. If you're sick, don't go to work or don't go to school, you know, or parents should keep their kids home, whatever, you know. But yeah, I don't think the mask is gonna make a difference at this point.
Okay.
I wish people would. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. There needs to be people wearing more condoms than masks.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I can agree with that too.
I mean, while they're mixing their fentanyl, why don't they throw in some birth control in there or something?
There you go. You know, I've actually heard a lot of people that have done drugs in the past say they don't like birth control, and it amazed me because I'm like, you'll take all these other drugs, but you won't take birth control, really?
Right.
To each their own, I guess.
Oh man. Well, here's my second question.
Okay.
If there was one message you could get out to the American public, what would it be?
It would be find something you believe in that's going to create a positive change, whether it's religion, just find something, you know, a good charity, not some of these charities that are completely fake and politically driven. Find something that you believe in and stop letting the government manipulate you, and stop turning on each other, and be kind. Just be good to one another and be good people, you know, and then we'll stop having a lot of the problems that we're having in this country. I mean, stop blaming other people for your problems, raise your kids right, raise them to know better, and do your part to do good for the world. I think that it's a little all over the place, but that'd be my message.
I like it.
Thank you.
All right.
How about you, Bill? You got some questions?
Yes. Shannon, as a mother, I have a question for you.
Yep.
You think it's right for mothers to go with their children out to protest and protect their children from the police while they're rioting in the background? Or should they teach their children the difference between protesting and rioting?
Well, I'm not going to claim to be a perfect mother. You know, of course, I'm going to try my best to answer this without sounding like one of those judgmental mothers that thinks they know it all, because I don't, of course, and I make mistakes like everyone. And I'm not going to try to act like someone shouldn't believe in something that they strongly believe in or against. You know, I think there's definitely power in protest. We've seen that, we've witnessed that, but I don't think people should be taking their kids to these protests because they are aware that it can turn violent. Clearly, I mean, whether it's them doing it or not, there's other groups that are mixing in at this point that are being paid to do it. So they're obviously going to follow through and they're going to do it to get their money.
Yep.
And I definitely think people need to be teaching their children the difference between peaceful protesting and rioting. Yeah, I mean, punishing an innocent person by burning down their business is not proving anything. It didn't help anyone prove anything about George Floyd or Breonna Taylor or any of the others that have died, you know, by destroying somebody else's life. You're just doing just that. You're just destroying somebody else's life. You're not helping any of the people that have suffered. You're just causing more suffering.
Exactly.
Yes.
So raise your kids, you know, to know better than that. And yeah, just.
And we have a constitutional right to protest.
Exactly. And that's what you guys have fought for by joining the military, you know, but a lot of you officers are military and you fought for these people's rights to go out and protest like this. But unfortunately, there's people that are stepping all over that. And
yeah, that's the duality of your decision to defend this country and our Constitution. You defend. Unfortunately, the other side of the coin is you're defending this idiot's right to act like an idiot.
Yeah.
Yes, and it is sad. It's very sad to witness it, because I know you guys go and sign up and go out and you risk yourselves, and then you become police officers and you risk yourselves even more. And I've seen a lot of videos and a lot of officers that are down crying, and they're feeling where these people are coming from, and they're right there with their humans, just like the people that are protesting. You guys are all humans, but I feel like you guys are put on a higher expectation level at times, and it's crap. It really is in a lot of ways, because they act like you guys aren't humans. You guys should be held to a higher standard, I guess, and that's ridiculous whenever they don't want to hold themselves to that standard.
Right.
Okay, I have another question for you.
All right.
This one is, if elected, do you think Joe Biden will take the country in the right direction? If yes or no, why?
I like that. No. Straight up and down, no, because he doesn't even know what direction he's going in from one minute to the next. So you pretty much spelled that answer out for me in your question. No, he's going to take us somewhere. We're all going to be lost as Joe Biden if he ends up in that seat. It's scary.
Hey,
it's really scary.
that's
I'm laughing, but it is scary.
That kind of the whole in the military, following the lieutenant, you're going to be lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. You want somebody there that knows what they're doing and that has at least proven that they know what they're doing. Yeah, Joe Biden has not at all shown me that he's got the ability to follow through with what we need done. And myself and my husband, we were doing great before COVID hit and before the big impeachment, hoax, I guess is what they call it now. I think they pretty much warned us they were going to run this country into the ground if Trump didn't get impeached. And I think that's kind of what's happening. They're just trying to basically make people vote against Trump just for the desire of all this to stop. And putting people in desperate situations, they're just causing more loss of life and more loss of, they're just causing more despair basically in the country.
Well, I think she answered some pretty good questions today. What do y'all think?
You guys ask good ones.
Yeah, thanks, Shannon. We really appreciate you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no
thank
problem.
you.
Thank you guys for letting me come on and speak my piece. I'm always griping on Facebook, so I got the opportunity to gripe with somebody finally. Appreciate you guys letting me come on.
No problem. Thanks a lot.
Anytime, Shannon.
All right.
All right, let's see here.
What you got there, Bill? Not having a Biden moment,
Back
are
to
you?
you, bro.
Okay.
All right. That was Shannon. We're glad to have her on here. Had some brilliant insight from her. Nelson, what do you got for us the rest of the, what about
Well, like I said, we're dropping the bobblehead Blue Collar Minutemen. That's going to be everywhere. Check us out on Facebook for that. Check out our new website. It'll be posted up on that. Like I was saying, comment about it. Leave us questions. Even on the email address, which is spelled BLU, collarminutemen@gmail.com. You can send us your questions, comments to that. But, Bill, just all in all, I think at the end of the day, every person needs to decide for themselves, of course, what am I really voting for? And I mean, that's on both sides. I mean, I know we're more right-sided, but, there are Democrats out there, and not all of them are that totally radical. And I know that, but still, at the end of the day, you got to try to get back to some values. And we got to decide, like, look, right is right, wrong is wrong. And if it's wrong, I'm not going to vote for it,
Exactly.
Same thing.
Exactly.
Do you have anything, Bill?
No, just did you speaking of that? Did you see the billboard that went up in Louisville?
No.
The big billboard that went up in Louisville says Trump 2020, and at the bottom it says paid for by working Democrats. That's in downtown
Yeah.
Louisville now.
By working Democrats.
Love it.
Justin, what you got?
Justin, final word?
And if there's one thing that I could say, something that we've learned, most of us growing up, our parents or mom, dad, whatever, taught us that two wrongs don't make a right. Going out, destroying your own neighborhoods, destroying someone else's property, killing an innocent child does not justify your cause at all. I would put it to every single person out there, you know, do what you got to do to progress your family, not at the expense of someone else or others. Do whatever you got to do to improve the quality of life you have for your family. And then take that. If you got two families living next door to each other that do that, improve the quality of life for their families, then that turns into a better quality of life for that neighborhood. Then that neighborhood can get doubled into their community. Then the community gets into the city. It's just like what Dr. Tony Evans would say. It comes down to the individual man. We are, or man or woman, okay? I should say that. But speaking as a man, men need to stand up and start looking at themselves in the mirror and say, you know what? I've got responsibilities, not just to my family, but what I'm doing, but what I represent. And people need to be careful what they represent, whether they're on the wrong side, left or right, doesn't matter, man. Are you part of the problem or are you part of the solution? If all you do is bitch and complain, you're part of the problem. Being part of the solution is coming together. At no point in history has anything been better by division. Never. It just hasn't happened. And but men, take responsibility for yourselves and your actions. Raise your kids. If you are man enough to create a child, you should be man enough to raise him. Abortion was never meant to be a form of contraception. Just an excuse for you to go out and screw around and not have to raise a child that you want to create. That's despicable. Raise your children. Men, we need more men in the homes. Mothers, you know what? You may not like the man you created a child with, but guess what? You created the child with them anyways. So that kind of goes back to both of y'all's decisions on getting together. Put y'all's differences aside and raise that child the way you need to.
Right.
Come together. But that's what I got to say. That's all I got to say, man.
All right. Hey, one more thing I almost forgot. For the third week in a row, Glenn Blevins, hand of the week. Glenn, we'll get you out another sticker. You're just collecting stickers, I think is all you're doing. We'll get out to you. I know we work, and we'll come and see you. All right, that's all I got.
All right. Well, once again, thank you all for joining us with the Blue Collar Minute, man. Hope everybody enjoyed us. Like I said, email us questions, comments, what you think we need to do better. We're always welcome to constructive criticism. And, email us, Blue Collar Minutemen, which is BLU collarminutemen@gmail.com. Check out the website, Facebook page. And once again, I'm going to say, let us all just think and let us pray for the family of Cannon Hinnett, because that's something that never should have happened. Never.
Definitely.
So God bless you all. and God bless America.
God bless